echo problem going on. I do apologize. Anyways, Tim Kirby live stream number 2. Everything is good. You have to forgive me. This live stream system on Telegram works, but it is much different than YouTube or VK or anywhere else with like the way the audio works. So please forgive me. What you have to do is you actually have to kill the audio on your computer itself, which is weird. I've never had to do that before, but whatever. So be it. Anyways, moving forward, Tim Kirby Russia live stream. If you are watching this on YouTube or Rumble or BitChute, and you find this particular program interesting, then you got to jump over on Telegram, because right now Telegram is really the only place that I'm going to be doing any live streaming. Maybe I'll do something in Russian on VK, but for now it's Telegram, and the group is Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore, and no other group is going to have that name. So join on up, and you'll be able to participate in these live streams. I always warn you guys a little bit in advance. They actually warned you like 8 hours in advance, which is crazy. Yes, I warn you in advance. And what else do I do that's really good? I'm open to your questions. So I kind of wrote down a few questions that people have. I have a few things to say myself. So first I'm going to kind of talk about the topic I wanted to talk about, which is a question from previous messages in the past that someone asked me that I thought was kind of interesting and a good topic for a live stream, because it's a bit open-ended, and it's about why I don't, or will I, or whatever, start a political career in Russia. You know, I have citizenship here. I have that C-list celebrity fame, which is oh so lovely. So why am I not in politics? You know what I mean? There's all sorts of people who are sort of celebrities or semi-celebrities in the Russian government there. So we'll get into that in a minute. We have some nice questions here that are looking lovely from Sid, Mandy, Rui the Brainless, and one from Randy KC from earlier in the day. So we'll get to them. And if you guys in the chat, I see we have Big Serge, or Big Sergey, however you want to say it. We have Tara is with us, and actually a few other people. All right, so 35 people are watching this. Holy crap. All right, guys, this is good, because in fact, though, guys, the last time I had a live stream, there was 1,200 some viewers. This time, 1,300, so I must be doing something right. Thank you very much. Anyways, our topic for today. It's boring to hear me rant and talk about the bureaucracy of the group. Best to talk about our topic for today. So the topic for today is a little bit egotistical. It's about me and why I haven't gone into Russian politics all these years. Well, I can tell you guys one thing. I've done a lot of media projects in Russia, and you may think that that's something like really different, but it's not. For myself, for other people, various companies, consulting sort of stuff I've done as well, and there are some problems in Russia, and it's probably a problem that's a bit universal, and I think this would apply to America and England and Germany and the rest of the world, but in Russia it's particularly a sharp problem, and that is the problem of budget. Okay, very often, now here's the Russian side of the problem. Russians are very unrealistic about budgets. Russians are absolutely sure that somehow you can pay people rock bottom terrible salaries, give them pathetic budgets, and somehow magically everything is going to work out. That's maybe more a story of the media, because I always hear about how much the Russian government overpays for roads, or how much they overpay to build a building. So for example, I heard recently that they sometimes try to buy tenders where they do like 30,000 rubles a square meter from the company, and then they inflate it to retail prices, which in Moscow can be like 110 or 20,000 rubles a square meter. So as you can see, that's a big inflation there. So for some reason with construction it works, but when it comes to the media, no. Media projects in Russia look like this. They're like, Tim, we want to sell this product in America. Okay. We would really like you to come up with some way that we can make it so Americans are talking about this product. Okay. We are prepared to pay you for this work $1,000 a month. Now, guys, it just, as I raise that as a random number, it doesn't really mean anything, but it is a really good example. Like, what kind of PR service or product promotion works on like $1,000 a month, or $2,000 or $5,000 or even 10,000? One of the big problems with Russia, and again, this is going to tie into why I don't have a political career. This all ties in. I'm not just babbling. It all ties in. Believe me, friends. Believe me. And if you really believe me, go over to Boosty. I'll send you the link to Boosty here right now so you guys can maybe start becoming people who donate. Someone actually donated to me over donation alerts today, which was crazy. I don't even know how he did it, but I'm on donation alerts too, which is awesome. Where's my page? Donation alerts, where are you? Oh my gosh. Where is it? Why can't I just see where my page is? How frustrating is that? Accounts, stickers, voting. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's no. It's not that. Wow. Then how lame. Anyways, since I can't find my own page here on donation alerts, I'm just gonna take a pass on it. Forget it. We'll do it some other time. Okay. We have a question. I keep getting an error message. Telegram couldn't detect any live stream from Tim Kirby. How, Jim? Everyone else sees me. Don't you guys see me? Jim, what's wrong? Try it again. Aren't I coming through? I can see myself on the video right now. I don't know, Jim. Something's wrong on your end. But anyways, guys, let's get back on topic there. Donations are not as important as the actual topic we have for today. Okay, so anyways, I was talking about like the budgets and how crazy low things are. And in Russia, people don't understand that when like a Hollywood movie's made, they can kind of wrap their brains around the fact that the movie was made for $100 million. Not really, because even with the fact that things in Russia tend to be cheaper and salaries are lower, very few things in Russia would be made for even like $30 million. Okay? So on the first front, they don't get it. And on the second front, they don't understand that like a Hollywood movie, perhaps a video game, like something you really want to promote, that's going to cost the same amount of money that goes into that product is to make it, that media product, I should say, not a car, not Pepsi or Coke, but a media product, a movie or a video game. That same amount of money goes to the marketing. So if the movie costs $100 million, it's going to cost about $100 million to actually go in and market that, okay? That's the reality of things. And even when you get into projects like some of you may be fans or despise, you know that PragerU, Dennis Prager is sort of a conservative American Republican channel. Some of you might like it, some of you might hate it, as I just mentioned. But anyways, they, in their annual report, which I took a look at, spent half their money, surprisingly, I think 47% was the figure, half their money on like marketing and the advertising and promotion. Oh my God, can you believe it? That they make media and they spend half their money to promote it. Amazing. And how much money is that? It's a lot. I think something like they made $30 million last year. So roughly 30 million divided by 2 is 15 million, I think was the amount. Well, anyways, I could be wrong. It could actually be more than that. My memory's not serving me, but it's definitely in the multiple millions of dollars, okay? And again, going back to the way Russians see things, they really expect a lot for nothing. And they also expect that advertising is just something that people do. And when they see a project like PragerU, all they see is the results. They're like, wow, this project is awesome. They have like, oh my God, they have like 13 million subscribers, and the people involved in it go on TV all the time. It's amazing. Why don't you do that? But they don't understand that you have to invest that money in it. So literally, when you're dealing with people in Russia, again, this media perspective, they want those PragerU results of a organization that's worked for 10 years, that had a $7 million initial investment, that is making, like I said, about $30 million a year. That's probably gross, not net. That's 30 million gross, but still, guys, still. So then maybe it is net. I'm not sure, but it's a lot. It's millions and millions of dollars, right? On this process, and they really expect that if people just sort of do something for like a couple $1,000s a month, they can compete with that, and you just can't. And really, in a lot of ways, to do anything, you have to have a budget. And working in the media has told me that, has shown me that more than anything. Someone once told me that someone is unfortunately not doing very good right now. They're in prison. That you need distribution in the media. Well, what does that mean? It means that it doesn't matter whatever you make. It matters if you have a good platform to spread it. So say tomorrow, okay, guys, say tomorrow. Again, this is going to tie into why I don't work in politics. I know it sounds nuts. Stay with me. Say tomorrow, someone at Russia Today watched this whole Kirby Russia channel that I just do on my own, and sort of kind of survives on donations and my will to succeed. And they noticed it, and they were like, "Oh man, Tim, we haven't been using you right. You can still do your travel videos and all that, but come on, man, you're gonna come. We're gonna do this whole Kirby Russia thing. We're gonna do it big time. We're gonna put it on the channel. We're gonna promote them." So if I was able to get access to like this big platform, this big distribution network for these videos, all these videos, even if all the people hated me, which maybe they would, every video would have 50,000 views. Just guaranteed, something totally, I don't know, minimum 50,000, good, bad, or indifferent, right? Because the platform is so good. It's like getting a movie on Netflix. Sorry if the microphone's a little bit hot. It seems to be kind of hot, sorry. But anyways, that's why everyone has this dream of getting on Netflix, because anything on Netflix gets pretty much decent results because the audience is so big, and they want their movies, and Netflix, if it's, promotes something, it can get immediate results. All right. So now we kind of understand this is the way the world looks through the media, and I think everyone who goes into politics, they bring their background into it, whether they were a doctor, soldier, or engineer. Everyone always says the Chinese government's filled with engineers. That's why they're so smart. I can't prove or deny that, but that's what they say. So if I were to take that if I were to take that experience, see, this is one thing that happens. You live in Russia too long, certain words, you pick the wrong language. It's not oput, it's experience. So I would take this experience into the government. I would only work a government job then with a budget and a platform, because I've seen a lot of people sort of get that I actually know get sort of elected to these like low level kind of like positions like city councils or like mayor of a small town, not even mayor, like deputy something or other. And guys, that is like doing the media project for $1,000. You see what I mean? It is the same thing where you're just going to be there. You're going to be in that office. But the difference is with a media project where you're getting paid not much, you just do it and you hope, okay? You do your best, you get paid, and you hope it turns out Jim Dandy, right? Or $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever. When you're a politician, first off, you can't even negotiate the price because you're getting a sort of federal salary, which is officially not very good. So if you really want your salary to be good in politics, you have to work for it. You got to grease that palm there, which I'm not really particularly interested in doing, right? So there's that part of it. So first off, you're probably going to get paid badly. You are going to be surrounded by all sorts of paperwork, because in our Western system, which is the one we have in Russia, well, the real job of some local authority or some city councilman is all just like bureaucratic paperwork, and that's just not interesting. That's not interesting. When you go in the government, you go in there to make change. You go in there to do something. And to do something, you need a budget. Which is why if I had the chance and the popularity to become like a mayor of a significant city, the mayor has a budget. He can actually put down like a vision of what he wants to do with that city. He has the budget, and essentially he has the platform. The platform is like the city itself and the city government. So he has the platform to distribute his ideas and his vision, and he has the budget, the fuel for the ideas to make it happen. So on like a mayoral, is that the word? Did I just make that up? Does the word mayoral exist, chat? That sounds like a word that exists. Maybe I made it up. So anyways, well, it's pronounced Big Surge. Thank you. So Big Surge. All right. Now working Tim. Oh, no. So no. Here we go. Error messages. No. Where's the link? The link's in the chat, buddy. Let me in, then booted me out. Tim keeps cutting out the live stream. Will you record your live stream? Yes, I am. I don't know what's going on, guys. So anyways, if you guys are having trouble here, we're just going to go to the end, and right afterwards, I guess I'll do like an immediate upload. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my computer here. We'll get back to the topic. No worry. But I'm looking at my computer here, and it is sending out 30 frames per second, just shooting it like lightning at a lot of kilobytes a second. I have 300 megabit a second internet here. So there's absolutely no reason why this isn't just flying like the lightning. So, but anyways, so again, why I wouldn't want to be this sort of low-level politician is because it would have all the negatives of working in the media with zero of the positives. But then when you get up to being a mayor or when you get up to being a governor, then that's where you get to live the dream. That is the dream. My dream above all dreams at this point in my life is to finally have a budget, to do some project where I control the budget. And like I said, where I have the platform. Because again, say even if someone was like, Tim, we're going to give you $1 million to come up with some sort of, I don't know, let's just say, a series of movies about the history of Russia that paints Russia in a really good light that Western people don't understand. Awesome. But it's blocked on YouTube, blocked everywhere. Well, see, then even with the budget, you don't have the platform. Okay? But anyways, so that's why, guys. That's my dream, and I don't really even sort of care what reality that's in, whether it would be the government or whether it would be the media, whether it would be something financial. A certain person who's watching here knows. You know what I'm talking about, baby. So yeah, I don't really care. I just want to have that ability to actually have control and make change. Because if you're going to go in the government, you want to do something. And one of the problems, guys, is we all vote for what my big criticisms and why I say that democracy is either a lot, Western style democracy is either a lie or it is fraudulent, is the fact that we as humans, we want our politicians, we want our leaders to go in and to do something, or at the very least we want them to just go in there, and if things are going okay, to just sit there and keep the boat afloat. Don't do anything. Don't let the boat leak. Okay, so there's sort of two ideas overall, and our bureaucratic checks and balances. Remember, bureaucracy takes the human element out of everything, so everything's bureaucratic, everything is a checklist, everything is just paperwork, and it just makes it impossible to essentially do the job that people think you're supposed to do. Have you ever seen those memes where it's like, this is my job, this is what my mom thinks, this is what other people think I do, this is what my coworkers think I do? Well, with politician, that from me actually talking to a lot of politicians, everyone thinks every politician is some sort of little dictator, and they have the power to make change, but for some reason they just don't, and no one understands it. Because guess what? They don't have the power to make change unless they have a budget and the platform to do it on. So again, guys, if I could just be a governor or a mayor, I could actually, if you're a mayor, even of a smaller town, I mean, you could solve some problems. You could try to, stimulate companies to come there and build a factory, or create some sort of project. So at the very least, you see them wasting money, especially in Moscow. Our big problem are these curbs. As someone with the last name of Kirby, I take this very seriously. Every 3 years or something, they go around the city and they change all the curbstones. It's just like, why are we doing this? No. At the very least, I could just get into power and not waste money changing the stupid curbstones. You see what I mean? So that's why, guys, I'm not going to go into politics until I have an offer or something for a decent position. Because I actually kind of put out a feeler. As I mentioned in these videos, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people in a certain political party that a certain president of a certain country participates in. And I kind of put out the feeler. But this was a couple years ago. Who knows? I might put out the feeler again. Where I was kind of like, friend of mine who I've known for like a long time. What would people think at this moment in history if, I kind of got my dual, at the time I was right after I got the dual citizenship. So it's like, I got the dual citizenship. I'm not really sure what the laws are in the Duma about this. They might kind of throw out people, just throw it out there. See how people feel about it. And ultimately the reaction was sort of like slightly negative. So they didn't even want me. Okay. So yeah, guys. So I kind of got the the counter reaction that perhaps I wasn't needed, or perhaps the whole thing with the dual citizenship. They're trying more and more and more to clamp down on people who have that, and so that's kind of also one of the reasons that killed my political career. However, I'll put it this way: to be governor, I'd be willing to give up anything. Governor, that's serious business. That's awesome. I'd be able to change people's lives. I would be able to help so many people. I would be able to live the dream of being able to find the problems in society that I feel are the worst, or at least the most prevalent that I see with my eyes, and actually be able to solve them myself. Holy moly. That would be worth any sacrifice. That would be amazing, but I don't think that's going to happen. Although, I just found out another person who is a sort of acquaintance of mine we've had some dealings with just got promoted to a very high-level position. So who knows? Maybe I can do some butt kissing. You never know. So maybe I'll butt kiss my way to the top. But anyways, guys, that's why I don't want to get into politics. Our other topic for tonight, while we're still here, is the Ukraine, of course. I just released a video today about the situation in Mariupol, so I hope you guys saw that. Again, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, everything is thrown in the Tim Kirby hardcore, Tim Kirby Russia hardcore on Telegram. That's where this broadcast is initially, and and people keep sending me how the broadcast is not working. This is sad. This is very sad. But yet it's working for some people. So anyways, guys, the Ukrainian situation is right now really focused on Mariupol, cleaning out Mariupol. And then what's going to happen is probably going to be the final cauldron is going to be locked down on most of Ukraine's forces in the east, if they're not already sort of in the cauldron. Not around Mariupol, but more towards the western edge of the actual Donbass Republic. So that's what you're going to be seeing in the next few days, and hopefully Mariupol will finally be sort of put to a close. But the one thing that's different about Mariupol is that it's I saw a report that 10% of the buildings were annihilated, as in they have to just be removed. Something like 60% were damaged. That seems like a very, very lowball number when you look at the images from the sky. Mariupol is in dire straits, and so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there. They might just have to be honest, although they probably won't for ideological reasons, it might be worth it just to give up and start again, or just let nature grow over what was there and then build a new city next to it or something to utilize the port territory, because, guys, it is absolutely, totally destroyed. So anyways, that's really all that we have for the Ukrainian situation right now. Thanks to some people and our buddy Joaquin at New Resistance, who's been doing a very good job of sharing. One of the videos in the Telegram channel of that guy who was something like, oh my God, what was his name? It wasn't Sanchez. What was it? It was James Vasquez there. The James Vasquez is a liar. The great video breakdown from a guy on YouTube, Gonzalo Lira, who shows how, like, all the Ukrainian supposed war propaganda, like, they use one set. Guys, they're using one set to film propaganda from. It's unbelievable. Using the same set and the same guy, and they're using the same same Vasquez gentleman, if that's his real name, and he's putting on a New York accent for the New York audience. Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. That's a good one. Got to check that out on the channel. We also have What's Exposed. I first saw it on Joaquin's channel. Good eye, man. And it's the video where they're sort of setting up to film the massacre of people in Bucha, and you can see how the Ukrainian troops are sort of dragging the bodies with wires, I guess, to get them in the ideal position or something. So holy moly. Oh, we got a comment from Big. Forget about it. I'm a New Yorker and now I'm fighting in Ukraine. But then all of a sudden, I am from the Midwest, sir, and my pronunciation is exemplary. And see, ironically, guys, I just couldn't say the word exemplary. But usually, Midwest pride, we pronounce balla. We're very good at that. We say all the letters in the words of American English, all of them, all the time. But anyway, so there's some real big revelations today. I'm sorry, I misspoke when I say there wasn't too much Ukraine news. That's actually some pretty dang big news, guys. Huge debunking video day today. Absolutely huge. And let's hope that this Mariupol situation gets solved. And let's hope that my YouTube video, where I claim that people have fed me some information that at the bottom of the steel factory are going to be some dark revelations. Let's hope I'm wrong, and let's hope the amount of people who are tortured and killed by the Azov battalion is way, way, way lower than expected, and more people are happy, healthy, and alive, okay? Let's pray for that together. Anyways, let's move over to people's questions, because I saw that there were questions, if I can find them. Now I am, okay, not working on Android. So I'm already blocked. M says I'm not working on Android. But then other people are watching. What is going on? The little thing says that 18 people are watching. I don't know. Something's wrong, guys. I did this exactly the way I did the first one. But anyways, all I can tell you is you're going to get an upload real soon. So, says nobody watching. Says from someone. Nobody watching. On me, it says 18. I don't know. Well, like I said, the live stream is going to be up soon. Wasn't working at first. Works on desktop. Okay. Anyways. Oh, someone sent a cauldron graphic. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yes. Is there someone I think I can put this on the screen. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, wait. No. Here we go. This is a good one. You're just gonna have to wait. I think it's worth it. Wait. Okay, so here we go. Will the system accept it? Do it, baby. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, no. Why not? You piece of trash computer. What was that about? It won't do it. What? Oh, this is I'm trying a different format. This is a fantastic piece of cruddy artwork here from the internet. I'm gonna do it. Hold on. We're JPEGing it now. Maybe it didn't like the format. Maybe it was PNG, and the system was like, no, PNG is awful. I'm not going to do that. Can you see it? Oh, it's low resolution. But it's the cauldron. So someone actually made a cauldron with the map of Mariupol being surrounded within the cauldron. I don't know about your sense of humor, but that's awesome. That is absolutely fantastic. So anyways, let me get through with your questions and comments here while I can before everyone leaves. Oh, we're getting all sorts of GIFs now. Okay, GIF mania. So anyways, hold on. Can you explain why the Bucha massacre is fake? I need ammunition. Big Surge, dude, look at my YouTube Rumble BitChute. I just made a video exactly about that. Right now, go there. Here, let me open up Rumble. Hold on. I'll even link you because I'm such a nice guy. I'll take time out of an entire live stream just to give you a link, which is so improper. So in some ways, it's so rude to everyone else. But anyways, Russian Bucha massacre timeline of Putin's crimes. Remember, guys, in order to not get banned, I have to really put the written text to every video is always written in a very negative light. So here you go, Big Surge. Boom, right there. You can show your friends and tell them to go F themselves. Oh! So anyways, nobody watching. Someone sent me... Bad news. Somebody's watching. What is your perspective about the success Andre Breezy? Brise? I want to say Breezy. That'd be the easiest way to pronounce it. It looks very Anglo-Saxon, the spelling, so we'll say Breezy. Andre Breezy. What is your perspective about the failure of the Russian military in Ukraine, disregarding Western media? It still seems like the operation has been subpar or fell short of expected objectives, especially around Kiev. Well, here's one of the problems, Andre, that someone else, not me, this isn't my original idea, but someone mentioned, is that Russia is very good at fighting. The Russian economy has done a great job of recovering and dealing with sanctions. That they've done. The Russian media sucks. Okay? Everyone always says that Russia are these propaganda masters. No. Russia does a really terrible job of propaganda. If Russia did an amazing job of propaganda, this whole problem in Ukraine wouldn't be happening. In fact, the Soviet Union would still be around in some form or the other. Russia is terrible at really sort of explaining its message. Like we talked, I think, in the last live stream about how I said how the concept of the multipolar world order is an anomaly because it's something that's easy to explain. It's like an elevator pitch to live in a different world from a standpoint of international relations, and that's amazing. That's a rarity. That is a fluke. Otherwise, most of the time, Russia is very bad at expressing itself and what it means. And so, to be honest, Russia didn't really tell the populace or give the populace much expectations about anything. It's not like Russia set these like benchmarks or this vision of how the war would go, and they didn't come out and tell the people like, look, guys, we're in a tough situation. We're trying to they're not outgunned, but they're definitely outmanned. If you were to say that all the Ukrainian reserves, all their reserves were actually patriotic and were going to get up and fight, I think it would work out to be like 900,000 or 1 million Ukrainian soldiers versus something like 150,000 Russian soldiers. But this number also keeps changing. But they'd be massively outnumbered. The Ukrainian side has the luxury that they don't care if civilians die, so they're happy to hide and make it so that the Russians actually have to go in with riflemen and clear them out. So I'll put it this way. Those factors were never explained to the public in the beginning. They explained the logic of why this is happening, but like no timelines, no projections, no explanation of how this war was going to be fought. All the real Russian sort of elites and authorities tell people on the ground is basically everything's going to plan. And that's it. That's all you get to hear. Everything's going to plan. And that's all. Okay? So it's a real, part of the problem where it's like, so has it been subpar or fell short of objectives? We have no way of knowing. If there is a timeline of objectives, which in some ways I think there might not even be, it may just be kind of PR stuff, but if there is a timeline of expected objectives, that's on some book somewhere. But I can tell you one thing. If I were a military commander and I was in the Russian position, okay, so I have to go in, and in this territory, half the people, more than half the people, actually want us there. But the enemy, there's a decent amount, maybe 25% who don't. There's always people who are kind of on the fence, they don't care. So there's going to be a notable amount of kind of civilians who are also against you. And the enemy force, they do not care about killing civilians. They don't care about hiding near hospitals. And by the way, the entire world's mainstream media is against you. So you have to be very careful about what you do. All right? So if I were sitting in their position, I would have told the Russian public, this is going to be a long one. We're in for a long ride, baby. But then again, I have a more Western school of thought, and remember, I'm a Western person, so our military school of thought allows for a lot more cracking eggs to make omelets, I'll put it that way, so maybe it wouldn't take as long. God forgive me. But anyways, Jim says, for me it works okay. We're getting more into whether things work or not. Censorship bull crap. That might actually be what's happening. This could be all censorship bull crap, friends. Been sleeping on your channel lately, so I missed it, says Big Surge. Sorry, no problem, Big Surge. Works for me now, says Anaretta. Well, Anaretta, if you got a question, let's ask it. Again, I'm sorry, guys, I can only do so much on my end. But we had some questions in the chat, so let's go to my big question list here. See if I can find it. All right. Tim's political career, we talked about that. Ukrainian stuff, talked about that. Sid writes, who's probably a fan of the Final Fantasy series of video games. Sid, I don't even know what an ultra-nationalist is these days. Is it the same as an ethno-nationalist? He's in referencing to the BBC's post-mortem of Zhirinovsky's career. We talked about the death of Zhirinovsky in the previous live stream. And the problem is, Sid, that if you haven't noticed, all English language media, even the Russian ones, if someone is right-wing, they are always on the extreme right. Why? Because the person who wrote it is left-wing. Because the person who wrote it, even if they're in Moscow, is a 20 to 35-year-old woman, no kids, no husband, living the Sarah Jessica Parker lonely lifestyle, and so they consider everyone who's right-wing to be scary and evil. Okay? So that's why. Everyone who is right-wing is ultra. uber mega right wing, okay, because that serves certain interests, or certain people perceive the world that way who write articles as journalists. Mandy writes, hey Tim, have you done any videos on what it's like to immigrate to Russia? I've done some live streams about that in the past in my non-political world called RTTT, which is now on Rumble. You can look for it, Russia Tips, Tricks, and Travel on Rumble. It is up, all the old videos, and we just added a new one yesterday. So you can look in the our Telegram channel and sort of scroll up and you'll see it. Maybe I should resend that tomorrow so people actually see it. We're getting a lot of news in the channel, so I might have to send stuff twice. But anyways, I have talked about that. In the future, guys, I have some projects related to people being able to immigrate to Russia. Excuse me. One of them is called Russian Villages, and we may actually have some spots available in the village, I'll put it that way. But unfortunately, guys, because of the special operation / hot phase of the war, a lot of that stuff is temporarily on hold. One thing I can tell you is that immigrating right now is very tough. It is tough to get in here. It is tough to get a visa. But again, we're working on that. I also working with a certain set of partners in a certain place that's going to allow us to kind of make the transition easier. So I don't want to talk too much about these projects because I don't like to promise and not deliver. You know what I mean? That's not cool. Especially one thing for all you men out there. One thing is, if you're a man and you're interested in women, you always have to deliver what you promise. So maybe you shouldn't promise very much, if anything, ever. Word to the wise. Or make sure all your promises are you can definitely do, so that way it makes you look like you're Mr. Promise Keeper. It's very important to the ladies that you keep your word always. Trust me, I've lost the opportunity I've lost the opportunity to be a much happier man than I am today because of failing to keep certain promises. So, word of the wise. But anyways, yeah, Mandy, immigrating right now is very, very tough. I and people I know are trying to work on some solutions. It is going to get easier within the next few months, thanks to the effort of certain people, including myself. I'll put it that way. But for now, it is rough. One thing I can tell you, though, Mandy, about immigrating to Russia that's very important and you need to understand is, imagine that you are standing, let's go crazy. You are standing in front of the Grim Reaper, okay? The Grim Reaper, you are facing death, and the Grim Reaper says to you, look between your feet. And you look between your feet, and there's an American football there lying there. Beautiful, brilliant American football. The college kind that has the nice little white lines and has the laces on the top. And he says, pick it up quickly. And you ask him, well, why should I pick it up? I don't know. I don't really think I should have to pick anything. And he kills you. This is what Western people do in the Russian immigration system. Let me explain. It's like, if people, I've met people, they came here and they've really quit their jobs, moved their money, brought children. And they don't seem to understand that the bureaucracy involved with immigrating to Russia is the most brutal, nerve-wracking, emotionally damaging process I've ever been in my life. Note, I've been in fistfights. I have been in situations where I've actually I've been close to facing death. Let's just say death was on the table. Nothing like fighting the migration services here. And you have to get into this mentality if you're going to immigrate to Russia. And you hear, again, we go back. If the Grim Reaper says, pick up that football, you fall on your chest and grab it. You don't pick it up. You hit the ground like a soldier who's running and the sergeant goes, drop. You drop, you hit the ground, and you grab that football, not with both arms, but you crawl like a baby and you use your legs to support the ball to your chest, okay? That's the attitude that you have to get through the immigration process here, because it is against you. I've had people say, well, I don't know. Why is everything unclear? Why? But they told me to do this. Yeah, maybe they told you one thing. Basically, and again, going back to the Grim Reaper, because usually the Grim Reaper are dealing with Satan and all these legends and TV shows and all this stuff. He's always playing tricks on you. And in some ways, when you go through this process, you'll feel like you are combating the devil. One thing I tell everyone is that when I did my permanent residency card for the second time, I had to submit my basically the application. The application, I submitted it. They found something wrong. You know, like how essentially the problem is in Russian, you can write, like at the end of the word, you can write rubles. You can write like .rub, you can write .r. There's also a ruble symbol. So there's a few different ways you could conceptually write it. So I sort of wrote it one way. They sent it back. I changed it on a laptop computer, went to their copy center, printed it out. Did it again, did it for a third time. So again, changed it on a laptop, went to the copy center, put it on a flash drive, had them print it out, went back there. And when the woman started to look at it, you know what I did? I raised up 1,000 ruble bill. And I told her, look, right now, each copy costs 10 rubles. I've got 100 copies, and I'll be here all day today, all day tomorrow, and all day the next day, and the day after that. I'm going to keep making copies till you get what you want. And you know what happened? She took the application, not even looking at it. That's what you're up against. So good luck. Then don't worry. That's why I want to make it easier for people. I want to brain drain the world and bring them to Russia, because Russia's a great place, except the migration services. Anyways, we're going with Rui the Brainless. I believe you're interested in money topics. What do you know about QFS quantum or quantitative financial systems? Please. I'm sorry, I do not know anything about that. I have not heard about that. Why are they quantitative? Maybe they should be quantum. It's like sometimes the money is this way and sometimes the money is that way, or sometimes it's both ways at once. Whoa, it's quantum. Oh my God. So I'm sorry, I can't really help you out much with that one. Do we have any fresh questions here? Yeah, babushka graffiti is appearing all over the place. Guys, one thing about the babushka where I think I shared that, or I'm probably going to have to share that, because the babushka with the flag of the Soviet Union is a big meme. But guys, you know, she's in, the thing about the video is she's in the territory, like she thought the Russian army was coming. So she brought out her Soviet flag to greet them, but it was the Ukrainians. There's a very good chance that woman's been beaten to death. And so people kind of find it very cute or something, but the problem is all I can think about is that woman being beaten to death. So I don't find it cute yet. You know, with time heals all wounds. So yeah. Not even my family can agree how breeze is pronounced, or brise, or breezy. Interesting. Well, then there you go. So you can never be wrong. Mandy, sounds like they only want people who really want to be there. That's it, Mandy. You, oh my God, you're a Western person. You understood it. Oh my God, Mandy did it. Oh God, I wish it like, I need a bell. I need like a bell to go ding, ding, ding. You got it. You can, now everyone can see how bald I am. You got it, Mandy. That's exactly it. You see, the Russian, why you know why people want to go to Russia? They're like, I want to live in a country that has real borders and where immigrants don't commit a bunch of crimes, and there's no what are those called? You know, like how in Germany they just pay immigrants to basically be there, and that's subsidies. Like welfare state. I don't want to live in a welfare state. Well, guess what? If you live in a country like that, amazingly, the migration process is brutal. Shocker. Oh my God. It's a shocker that they don't let people in willy-nilly, especially from countries they've sort of considered to be somewhat enemies. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yes, you got it. Okay, Mandy, there's hope for you. You may be the first Western person. No, I do know some. Well, the first Western person I know recently who actually might get this and understand it. Remember, if the Grim Reaper says jump on the ball, go down. Get that ball. Immigrating to Russia and then getting my permanent residency here was the most difficult bureaucratic process I had ever done, says James. Now it's much simpler. It was not a complaint, however, just an appreciation that they kept the riffraff out. Exactly. Oh my God, everyone's understanding this. I feel I'm looking at myself because I don't know why. Sorry, I should be looking at you. Oh my God, you guys actually understand this. This is amazing. This is like the first time this has ever happened. Oh, it is a glorious day. It is a day of joy and rainbows and puppies for me. This is amazing. You That's a very complicated name to have in a live stream. So the person named you, what is your opinion on the Russian historian professor who has an alternate history timeline? Historian professor? I don't know. You'd have to mention him by name, and if it's the professor I'm thinking of, that would require an entire video. He is quite the guy. But if you're talking about that fat guy who died around 2003, 2004, who said that Russian soldiers marched on China during prehistoric times, I don't like that guy. But he was very fat. Quite fat. Anyways, Tim, where do you make up? I'm not sure. Where do I make what? Where do you make your own channel? On YouTube? What do you mean, my own channel? We are on YouTube, Rumble, and BitChute. RooTube has no point because the audience only speaks Russian for now. Maybe one day that'll change. The stream works fine now. What took you to Russia originally? That's too long to answer, and I hate answering because I have to do it every day. What would be the first step to work in another country with a job related to politics? I know you have that experience. Well, writing about it in some ways can be easy. Really the thing is it's producing. One of the problems about the 21st century is because things have become a little bit cheaper and a little bit easier to do, people don't want to hire anyone based on promises or potential. They want proof of concept. Like if you start writing and you start writing for a blog, or especially if that blog gets published, like for example, I've written a lot of things over the years that have made it to Zero Hedge, which is huge. If I write anything that I've ever written that's gone on Zero Hedge, minimum 50,000 readers. And this is like hardcore, only geopolitics, like, no cutesy poo stuff, no general audiences, just straight demographics, geopolitics, in your face, real international relations, okay? And that gets 50,000 views. Once you can start doing that, then people are going to want to associate with you. And especially, like, say for example, I don't know, let's take a country. Let's take a country. India. Lots of foreign people love India. So you go to India. I don't know what the immigration rules are like with India. I don't know what that is. But let's just say you start spending time in India. And you start writing a lot in English. And a lot of people in India do read English, so that's kind of nice. And you start to really get to know people in India, and you really can then, from whatever country you're from, and you can communicate back to the country you're from, like what Indians really think, how things really work, this sort of deeper view on things. You're going to create this value to yourself. And that's where it could come from. Now, getting into politics, again, I don't know how India works. But again, if you were to go to some place in India and you're like, let's see, what's your name? Big Surge? Big Surge, that is a name that does not reveal much about you. I'm going to just guess, let's just say you are an average British guy, okay? You're British today. Whether you are or not doesn't matter. British guy, right? So you're in India. And maybe you're this British guy who lives in kind of a smaller town. You're going to be kind of different. And maybe that differentness is going to allow you to kind of maybe talk to some people and schmooze. And then maybe, you're building this reputation. Maybe you're building something media. And then all of a sudden you could maybe make the jump to politics and someone might be interested. But most countries require you to have citizenship in order to run for public office. Okay, so it is not. It's definitely not the easiest career path. The easiest career path is to teach your native language in another country. That's the easiest way to go from country A to country B by far, but it is a trap. Because once you start teaching, especially English, and you don't do anything else, you are stuck teaching English for the rest of your life. And that is no fun. No. Anyways, let's see. We're getting some comments here. Not even my family can agree. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Sounds like they only... Yeah, we talked about that. What is your opinion on the Russian... Yeah, we talked about that. Babushka, foo, that's awful. Well, it's because this Babushka has become a very epic figure on the Russian internet because of her meeting the Ukrainian soldiers with the Soviet flag by mistake. Yeah, I heard that only optimists are left in Russia, which is ideal. I've told you, dude, you probably heard that from me. One of the advantages of living in Russia, since everyone here feels everything is ultimately hopeless, especially if you're an American, where they beat the idea of the sort of, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You can do it. That can-do attitude. Sorry, that kind of sounded negative. I see it's probably one of America's strengths is our can-do attitude, because we go over to other countries and no one there believes in it and no one there does anything. We walk in, this country is mine. We walk in and we say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and you can't build this. Guess what? I'll put a skyscraper there. We'll turn into Donald Trump. Can't build this. I can't do a Trump impression, but you can't build a skyscraper there. I'll build 5 and for half the price, that American confidence, maybe sometimes overconfidence, is actually a very, very good thing when you immigrate to Russia, because you essentially go to a country where the only competition you could encounter is like some guy owns a steel mill and you opened up a competing steel mill and maybe he sent some guys with baseball bats after you. Like, that's the only competition you'll ever face. Otherwise, dude, you are everything's going to be just fine. Everything's just going to be fine. Books on religion? What are we even talking about? I don't know. No. Fomenko, that's historian. No, I'm not very familiar with him. I'm sorry. Or was Fomenko the fat guy in the 90s? Hold on. Let's see. Fomenko, Historia. Fomenko, Ruska Historia. Fomenko, is that who that is? The fat guy. He does look kind of fat and gross, but no, I was talking about a different guy. But yeah, there's probably some weird stuff ancient Russia and Rome. Hercules was Russian. Yes. Oh, and oh boy, and we're seeing Tsar of the Slavs, and it's a picture of Jesus Christ. Okay, we're getting into historical revisionism here. One thing, guys, I do not like is, I'll put it this way: historical revisionism and this overinflated sense of self is one thing that the Russian mainstream makes fun of about, like, the Ukrainians, how, like, the Ukrainians also have a lot of books where they say Jesus was Ukrainian and all this, and that things that were happening before written history are just guaranteed facts and all that. So that is not mainstream in Russia, but there is a little kernel of that, and I do not like it. It is not acceptable to make up stuff, especially about, people like Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Buddha. Just make it up and say that they're somehow related. Just no, we're not going to do that. It's but unfortunately you see this like yellow press history stuff, and it's very disheartening, because that's part of the reason why the Ukrainians became the Nazis that they are, is because of that sort of rewriting of history. So it's not cool, unacceptable. All right, Jesus spent his entire life, probably within the current borders of Israel today. Probably. That's one we'd have to, but basically in that region, whatever you want to call it. I believe the Levant is one way to describe it. So Israel, the Levant, and that's it. He didn't go anywhere else. Trust me. Okay, India's where I want to go. Oh, then there you go. I live in America. Well, then, yeah. So the main thing is to, with India, is find out what their immigration laws are. Try to talk to people who have immigrated there. Find some Western person, so you're American, so some English-speaking person who immigrated to India and, has citizenship. Find out what that pathway looked like, how he did it, and all that. So that's the main thing. But one thing about India, though, is I don't know what Indians are like. Are Indians really competitive? I mean, there's a lot of people there. If you go to India and you're like, okay, I want to, you start writing articles, but all of a sudden, there's a lot of Indians who are native speakers of English. Especially the more upper class that happens to well educate their people, their children. You say, they might not need you. So it's a risk. It's definitely a risk. But if you really love India, that's another thing you also ask yourself: do you love India? Do you want to eat their food every day? Would you want to convert to one of their religions? I'm serious. And really do it. Not yoga. Not yoga and that festival where people throw like the colorful stuff at each other. Not that. I mean the whole thing. the reading Gita. I can never remember what it's called. Read like the ancient books, the prayers, the whole thing, the bathing in that one gross river that everyone has to do, considering certain animals to be safe. You got the whole 9 yards. Do you want to do that? Do you want to get it? You want to get on Team India? So you got to think about this. You got to think. Like, you can't just jump to India and expect India to roll out the red carpet for you. You've got to, basically, you have to bow and give yourself to India for India to give itself to you. All right. So there you go. It's quite clean out here of the people who had a toilet of complaints about the motherland left to Istanbul or elsewhere, packing their suitcases and underwear, caught them in the zipper. So James is talking about all the celebrities who've like fled Russia to especially live in around Turkey, or more than anything in Israel. Oh boy, yeah, I know Israel. I've seen in the comments a lot of people are passionate about Israel. Calm down. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of Russian celebrities have fled, and ironically, I have an offer through the comedy writers of a very popular comedy show. In fact, shows, it's multiple, that my career in Russian comedy might be coming back. So maybe now's the time. Maybe now's my time to strike. Although I guess I've had 2 years off of comedy. I've had, because I kind of got fired from doing that, like when COVID started. So yeah, I guess I'm ready for jokes again. But unfortunately, that's one of the reasons I don't like doing live streams in Russian, because I'd really rather talk about serious things with humor, rather than being a comedian and trying to maybe add some information in. And whenever I do a live stream in Russian, everything is just, dicks, balls, farts, and sex, and no, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I'm too old, but I'll do my best to be funny, at least in front of the camera. What do you see, Mandy's asking again, what do you see being the biggest opportunities in Russia for an immigrant? English teaching is number one. Again, the name Mandy makes me think Western world, America, Canada, England, so forgive me if you're actually Italian or from Nigeria or something. But anyways, then again, Nigeria is an English-speaking country. That was a bad example. Let's see, something. Ethiopia, there you go. But anyways, I'll just assume you speak English as a native language, and so English teaching is always a good option. There's all sorts of places. There's all sorts of English teaching schools around Moscow. These schools can offer you visas. You work there. You have a work visa. They can renew it. They can keep you going. You can choose to work there very few hours a week, and maybe you can try to find something else. I know a lot of people have done that. They use the English teaching job as the anchor visa, and then while they have the anchor visa, they go around looking for other jobs or the opportunity to maybe find Mr. or Mrs. Right to get married and stay here and build a life and have like a real job that doesn't suck like teaching English. So there you go. That's a good opportunity. The problem is there was a list of 150 professions that would allow you to come to Russia as like a foreign specialist and get around a lot of the bureaucracy. But right now there's a big fight over that in the government and how that's going to work, or if it's going to be canceled, we don't know. And the list used to be very extensive and actually opened the door to a lot of more respectable professions than teaching English. Unfortunately, English, it is really, teaching English, like I said, it's sort of like the McDonald's of being a foreigner overseas. So there you go. Tim, не читай Fomenko. Эту фигню пишет. As he's saying, don't read Fomenko because he writes a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, I know. The book that said Jesus is the Tsar of the Slavs and he's hanging out. He was just hanging out in Poland, having a good old time. That's where my interest in that gentleman ends. I just watched your Far East RTTT. Seemed very chill. Is there less geopolitical drama out there away from Europe? No, Russia's pretty monolithic in that sense. People are very concerned about the fate of the country everywhere, so no. But I don't know, I think we were just in a chill mood. I mean, it was very relaxing. One thing was, it was a long flight, and just so you know, Andre, part of it involved 10 hours on a boat. 10 hours. So maybe at some point, if I look like I want to die in the video, it was after that 10 hours on a boat. I hate boats. I hate water. I hate the sea. I hate rocking around. I don't like any of it. Big Surge. I'm an Indian Hindu. Hey, I've been to India multiple times and speak an Indian language. Oh, well, dude. Well, that's different. If you're talking, see, one thing, Serge, you need to learn is in the future you need to make these details more evident. You're going back to the motherland, just like all my ancestors came from Eastern Europe or the Russian Empire at the time. One of my good buddies, who I really should communicate with more often, also from Cleveland, he went back to Hungary because he's Hungarian and he can trace his lineage back and all that stuff, right? So when you're going back to the motherland and you look like everyone else, but you bring these sort of unique traits of maybe being from America, I'm sure you can find some sort of unique purpose for yourself there. Yeah, why don't you go there for a couple weeks, give it a try to feel it out, and see how you feel about it. See if you can talk to people or maybe find some niche for yourself. So it's very different. Because I also tell that to people, because I occasionally get people from, say, France. Actually, I got someone who is African American and someone who's Japanese talking to me. Now, in Russia, there's a lot of Asian-looking people, but Japanese people look different. They look more. They don't have that sort of Mongolian horde Asian look, but like the Southeast Asian look, so it's kind of noticeable. And if you're French people don't really look very Russian at all. Most French people, the facial structures and everything it's very different. And if you're African, well, you're African, and that's very different. And I tell people, question is, why do you want to go to a culture that you have no relation to? Your ancestors didn't come from here, so you have no connection to anything. So where you were born, because these people are living in so as an African American, well, yeah, your ancestors came from Africa, but I mean, for generation upon generation, you've been in America, you speak American English and, American football and beer and all that stuff. If you're French, your ancestors have been in France forever. A Japanese guy from Japan, for generation upon generation. So it's like, why exactly do you want to cut all that off to go to a place where you're constantly different all the time? Do you like being different? Do you want people to stare at you and notice you and always treat you as a foreign person? Because with me, I get treated like everyone else until I open my mouth. But I mean, if you're African, you're always going to be treated as a foreign person. In fact, we did some interviews with African people, and one woman said, she is just, because she speaks Russian as a native language, and she said she is so sick after all these years, or whatever, she's 30 years old, of every person trying to talk to her in English if they need directions or something. No one can believe she's from Russia. They're always in shock, and it just gets so effing old. So ask yourself those kind of questions. But if you're going back to India and you're from India, guess what? You're going to fit right in. Although you'll be a little bit different, and you'll be more like me then. Maybe your destiny will be the destiny of Tim Kirby, which is a pretty rockin' effing destiny, bro. You just said it's a trap, Tim, English teaching. It is. Not a trap in the sort of erotic sense, but it is definitely a life trap. Once you teach English for 5 years, you have no skills, you can't get any other job, you are stuck teaching English forever. English is temporary. It's like those girls who sell pictures of themselves during college to get through it. Once college is over, gotta quit, or you're going to be real lonely. In fact, if anyone ever finds out, you'll be real lonely. But anyways, let's see, going through the... I'm glad we're having a good time here. But remember, guys, we're getting a lot of questions here. I'm going to go pretty soon because we're over the hour mark. But remember, guys, Boosty, what are we doing? Why? I'm not seeing anyone even trying to donate over Boosty. I also have a crypto wallet. Everyone's asking me questions. Everyone thinks the work I do is fantastic, which I appreciate. But come on, we gotta get this we gotta get this stuff going here. We gotta get some donations going so I can finally build my effing studio. Gotta get the studio here. So there's Boosty. You can try it. If you guys have crypto, I'm opening my crypto wallet now. It's going very slowly for some reason. I need to look at my password because I cannot type it that easily. I was typing it in Russian. That is one thing you'll get really sick of when you move to Russia, is constantly typing in one language, noticing it, and then having to switch the keyboard. So let's see. Receive money. Go. Why are you not going? Do it. This is my crypto address. Oh my God, it's crypto address. Hold on. Crypto address. send me that crypto, baby, and I will try to do something with it, okay? So if you guys are really enjoying the chat and you really like having someone answer questions, it would be great if you help me out. We're going to answer a few more questions, and I'm going to vanish into the ether from whence I came. Is your Hungarian friend John Morgan? No, but John sounds like a guy I'd want to meet. One thing that's actually very sad is because now I'm sort of trapped in Russia because of this political situation. It's kind of sucks because our American football team was going to go to Hungary to play, and I thought, yay, free vacation, I'll get to see my best friend, because he actually is one of my real inner circle best friends. Like, you have like maybe, I don't know, 5 people in your life that you're like, you could not talk to the guy for 2 years and nothing would change. They're like, you're like, or like, even, I'll tell you this, what's what's really meant something to me? I was having visa problems. This is back in the day, guys. This is over 10 years ago. And you know what? The company I was working for screwed up my visa, and I thought, man, this is it. My time in Russia is over. It's all going to fall apart. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I don't have the money to get back to America. Can I, like, live and sleep on your couch or something, and I'll try to, like, teach English for a while or do something. I'll try to, like, pay you back, and maybe we could become, like, roommates or something? Yeah, that's for sure, dude. Take as much time as you want. And so that guy is a top-tier friend, because when the chips are down, he's on your side. If you think flamenco is weird, Galkovsky. Ooh, Galkovsky. Maybe that's the fat guy. Hold on, friends. Galkovsky Historia. Oh, boy. What kind of wonderful history here. And that's not the same guy, but he does look fat and gross, so that's nice. I'm not really seeing a lot of good book covers. This guy is far less juicy but he is weird and gross looking. He sort of looks like a baby that is yet to be born. So anyways, I remember you mentioned 10 hours on a boat in the episode. I had hoped you were exaggerating. No, Andre, I'm not kidding. It was 10 hours on that effing golly boat. Sorry, everything's itchy. Gosh darn boat. Unbelievable. And then we really had to. And the one thing is because what really is annoying about it is because I'm not, I don't like the water, I don't spend time on boats, is my brain wants to center itself. So you're like moving, and your brain is trying to center itself, but there's no way to. So my neck was just on fire by the end of that. As your body is just constantly trying to fight to keep your neck in position. Oh, I'll become the Indic Tim Kirby then. You go ahead and you do that, baby. Follow in my lead. Okay, well, I guess that's all for tonight. So here we go. That's the end of the road. Or wait, one last message. Galkovsky believes the Roman Empire wasn't real, and he also has some weird takes regarding the Soviet Union. Yeah, I've seen all that stuff. But actually, that whole thing, the Roman Empire was fake. There's also some Western writers who also proposed that idea, which it's just... It's hard to believe, but I'll tell you what, maybe some of you guys have this mentality, but there's a certain type of person that has a certain type of mentality where, okay, if something isn't written on a piece of paper, it doesn't exist, or I'll put it this way. Cop goes up to, they see someone, a cop goes up to someone, whacks them with the nightstick over nothing, and they just sit there. Well, you can't do that. That's not allowed. What about his rights? You can't do this. Guess what? Apparently he can. And they're the people who live in that weird zone of but he can't do that. It's written somewhere in some rule that you can't do that. And then life doesn't really obey that logic. And I bet he's one of those guys who thinks, well, the Roman Empire really never officially declared itself. Or, well, if you look at the extent of the Roman Empire, I mean, the outer edges, was there really examples of statehood? He's just looking for, because there weren't these certain, check boxes ticked, that means it didn't exist. It's just, yeah. So anyways, it's probably that mentality. It's a mentality I come across a lot when you talk about politics, or people who are just so sure about those stupid check boxes. But anyways, guys, so this I think went well. Guys, okay, so I'm leaving. No more questions. What I want from you guys is some of you are taking the time to watch this, which is great. I really appreciate that. What can we do to make the live streams more interesting? Do you have some big questions for me? Maybe you have some questions that might take an entire hour to discuss. Throw me some questions. But also, if you donate, like the 2 people who are on Boosty, we only have 2 so far, hopefully more, who contribute, you guys are always going to get priority treatment about getting things answered. If you make a donation over the Monero wallet, over Cypto-Currency, please send me like a direct message that it's you that sent it, and if you have any questions, you will get your live stream and you will definitely get your questions answered, because anyone who donates gets all their questions answered. You don't donate, then that's up to me, baby. All right, so anyways, Tim Kirby signing out. All right.